Are you ready to take your organization to the next level and become a game changer in your industry? Then look no further. Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, where we bring you the world's top business thought leaders to share their secrets to success, from leadership development to finance, marketing, self-development, human resource management, and much, much more. Our guests reveal the strategies, tactics, and mindsets that have made them so successful. So let's dive in and learn from the best in the business. Hello, and welcome to another great episode. And thank you so much for joining me. I know there's a lot of activities happening in our community right now for you to spare another time to be here with me. So I truly appreciate that. And I'm excited about today because today we're going to be talking about the step-by-step roadmap. How would you like to know what is coming? What is the roadmap ahead? You know, some of the things that we struggle with as entrepreneurs, there is no need for us to struggle with that if we just know somebody who's been there, who's done that, who has come up with a solution. And the reason we bring amazing guests like our guest here today is we want to help you avoid those pitfalls that many entrepreneurs are going through, because you're going to find out exactly what you need to do now so that you don't fall in the traps. So get excited. And, if you have your journal out, I'll be excited for you because you're going to dignify your discoveries today. Now, before we bring our guests here to talk about the step-by-step roadmap ahead, I want to encourage you on two things. One, if you are not yet a member of our community, you want to do that right now because you are missing out a great deal, because we've got great conversation happening in there. A lot of people are being helped as we speak today. And number two, if you are still looking to get started with your podcast, we've got great training we put together. If you want to know how to scale your podcast or even to monetize your podcast, we've got that covered as well. And also, if you want to know anything about leadership, our good friend Trevor Stockwell, my business partner, is in the community helping people right there. And you can just inquire about his leadership programs and you will be great. You'll be in great hands in there as well. Well, enough of that. So grateful that our guest is here with us. There you have it. Now, for those who haven't come across your work today and are curious what this is all about, could you tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your background, your education, and experience in this area? Maybe you can cover some of your formal education there, and maybe you could talk about some of the clients you've helped, the results you've gotten for them, that is the experience, and of course, talk about your success journey. Has it been overnight? Or have you worked very hard for it?
Okay, so question one. So when did you get started? I started marketing and writing copy for a side hustle when I was bored with my corporate job. That corporate job was headed nowhere fast. I didn't enjoy the job. I was just bored. But luckily for me, I discovered that I had a natural talent for writing copy. I had a keen interest in marketing, psychology, all that aspects. When you put the two and two together, you end up with where I am now. So when did I get started? I mean, once the pandemic hit and I took a look around and realized I wasn't happy, like I imagine a lot of people, that's when I made the change. I took the leap to go into copy and writing copy and doing marketing full time. Question two, have you had any formal training or education in your area of expertise, or has it been all on the job training? A bit of both, really. I've had on the job training and then also signed up for various online courses, been coached and mentored by various marketing and copywriting experts. So there's always been someone with more knowledge than myself to lean on. What kinds of things have you done, experiences have you had that are relevant to our audience? So I've written 2 books, one about marketing, one about writing copy. And then I've also launched my own online course that shows copywriters how to get copywriting clients. Were you an overnight success or did you have to work for it? No, certainly not an overnight success. A lot of failure, a lot of learning, a lot of starting again, a lot of repositioning. And overall, I've managed to lose my hair in the process. Certainly nothing to do with the passage of time and a genetic disposition to balding. Definitely all to do with the marketing and the copy.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you. Now, when it comes to these steps, in your opinion, based on what you've experienced and the help you've given to other business owners, what is the very first steps that people like me, business owners, entrepreneurs, need to take in this area to speed the whole process of getting to the goal and without losing their mind, without a lot of stress or even losing family time? What is that very first step that we need to take? Maybe explore why this step is important. And the best way to take these steps, maybe it could be very helpful to do that. And maybe finally, are there any tools around this area that make the whole taking of the steps much, much easier? And if people are stuck, what is it that they can do to get unstuck?
Okay, so what is the first step business owners need to take with my area of expertise? So I guess we're talking about marketing and copywriting. The first step, I'm presuming that you have gone through the proof of concept. You've proved that there is an audience for whatever you're selling. So let's move on from that one. So the first step is to nail your target audience. If you don't know who you're selling to, then it doesn't matter what you're selling. You could have the best product on earth, but if you don't know who you're selling to, then it doesn't matter. Putting an iPad in front of a, 80 plus year old target market, it's not going to work. That's not your target market for your iPad, So you have to make sure that you understand who your target audience are. And then you have to work out what it is that they want, what it is that they need, what is it they're fearing. You've got to find out all their motivations, all the buttons that you can push for them. It says, is there any tools, websites, or apps that can make this first step easier? Yeah, ChatGPT actually is utterly fantastic for that. You can just put in, what are my target audience struggling with? And then say, can you elaborate on this? And, what else can you tell me? What is it that they want in their lives? All you have to do is start talking to ChatGPT with all the questions that you have. ChatGPT will spit out those answers for you. You'll need to take it a little step further, and there are definitely other websites that you can do that with, like Amazon product reviews is always great to look at where your target market, they're reviewing products, the language that they use, the things that they're struggling with. YouTube comments, where people are talking about what they're struggling with on videos of interest. That's amazing. Stuff like that. Where are your target audience congregating? Reddit is another good one. There are subreddits on absolutely everything, so you can always find where your audience are, see what they're talking about, see what keeps them up at night, and tap into that. Once you understand what your audience want and what they need, what they're trying to get away from, then you can really talk to them about how your product service will help them and what their life will look like once they buy your product service. How long does this step take? How long is a piece of string? It's a continuous process. The first time you do your target audience avatar, you're going to be dealing with certain information. You're going to have to go back and revisit it and keep building on this file of information that you have on your target audience. Because ultimately, although the first time that you go out and ask ChatGPT, and then you get all the information, and then you bolster it with other sources, you're going to build on it. The more you talk to your target audience, the more that they feed back to you, the more you interact with them. So yeah, the information just keeps going. If someone gets stuck on this step, how can they get unstuck? Well, as I say, ChatGPT is a great place to start because it has all the answers. Other than that, networking meetings. Networking, if you've got people in your target audience who go networking, then get in and around them. And, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so shut up and just listen to them talking about their world.
Awesome. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We covered, let me speak to Bill for a moment. Bill, what you've just had there really simplified approach. If you can just pick that one up and apply it today, truly, I believe that it could change your game. So let's go straight and talk about the second step that business owners need to do. Again, the same format, really go deep into it so that people will understand what needs to happen. And the tools, maybe the website or the app that can make this step easier, and how long it takes to take this particular step. I think if we understand these things, we will be able to comfortably take the right step. And for those in the audience that may find this difficult or very stuck, what is it that they can actually do today to get themselves out of this entanglement and begin to move confidently and in the right direction of where they want to go?
Okay, second step that business need to take. So they've built their service, they've proved the concept, they've worked out who they're selling to. Now it's time to start building an audience. There's all sorts of ways of generating leads. You've got inbound and outbound. Outbound, you can do anything from paying for advertisement, cold emails, direct mail, radio adverts, just DMing on LinkedIn. There's all sorts of ways. And then to generate inbound leads, get in front of your target audience and post valuable messages that talk to them about the pain that they're going through, exacerbate that pain, tell them where to find a solution. Simple stuff. But yeah, your main bit, if you're just starting out, is to generate an audience. And the best way of doing that is to go out to them. So outbound, cold emails or direct mail. Those are the 2 bits. Lumpy mail, if you've got the budget for it. But yeah, find out where your leads are, find out where your audience are, and then go and talk to them. Obviously, again, as well, there's networking. That's always a good opportunity. So yeah, lots of places to go to get yourself in front of your audience. Can you go into a little more detail on this? So for example, if we were talking about lumpy mail, then lumpy mail, because it costs generally more than the other forms of outreach, I would suggest that you only really use that with big whale customers, clients, those with lots of budget and you've got a high-priced service to sell to them. Other than that, direct mail. So send them out you can print out the letter, but get a nice handwritten envelope, get a nice handwritten hello section, personalized, and then send it out in that nice envelope, and then follow up relentlessly, email them, phone them. The difference between one business that's successful and another business that's unsuccessful is the one business owner is willing to do what no one else is willing to do. So, cold calling scares people. They don't want to do it. Pick up the phone, get in front of your target audience. I go LinkedIn live. Scary, but it's very few people are doing it. So yeah, put yourself out there. Talk to your target audience. Are there any tools, websites, or apps that make this step easier? Yeah, so for going for LinkedIn Live, I use something called StreamYard, I want to say off the top of my head. StreamYard. And that enables me to go LinkedIn Live. Are there any tools, websites? As I say, when you're printing out letters and then putting them in lovely envelopes, that's, kind of stuff. You could also go for, kind of a hybrid lumpy mail kind of situation. You get some padded envelopes, and then include, a pack of Skittles or something. Like, have I got a sweet treat for you? Something along those lines. Get some attention. How long does this trick take? It depends. Everyone's at a different area of recognition of what they do or do not need in their business. So, people who are near the top of the funnel and are aware that they have a problem and are trying to find a solution, that it can be perfect. You can reach out to them and they can say, yeah, this is perfect. This is the perfect moment. This is a sign. So alternatively, some people, they'll be on your mailing list. If you've got a mailing list, you should have a mailing list. They can be on your mailing list for months or a year, and they'll, and you'll never hear from them. And then all of a sudden they'll be like, yeah, perfect. Now's the time for me. If someone gets stuck on this, how can they get unstuck? So I guess the most difficult bit is finding out where your leads are. So if you're not going networking, if you're going for the outreach method like direct mail, lumpy mail, or cold mail, then what I would suggest is that you go to people per hour or Fiverr or something similar. Find a freelancer, a virtual assistant, and pay them to generate, 150, 200 leads for you in your target niche. And then you will have all the contact details that you need.
Outstanding. I have to confess, I'm finding this whole conversation rejuvenating, and I'm so grateful for you to share these wonderful thoughts. Let's move on to perhaps our last step, our third step in this conversation. I know we will be able to explore more in the community, but what is the third step that business owners need to take in this area, and what's the best way for them to take this step, and how to do it really? How do you actually go about doing that? If we can go a bit much into detail of doing that, that'll be amazing. Also cover some of the tools, if there's any tools out there that are helping people, and what are some of the secrets that may help individuals like me and business owners like Bill and Mary in the community be able to take this step confidently and begin to move straight forward to their goals.
You've reached out to your leads. Now it's time to start converting those leads. It's time to start getting some sales. You've started that conversation. You've got some leads. You are reaching out to them. They are coming back to you, right? So if you've done your direct mail campaign or your lumpy mail or your cold email, people are coming back to you and saying, yes, I am interested. So the next step is to start to look to sell to them. You may not want to sell to all of these people, because if you're a business consultant, like the kind of client that I work with, then you should be picky about who you work with. Working with absolutely anyone and everyone is a recipe for disaster. Some people are not good clients for the way that we think and we work, right? So accepting anyone and everyone is a recipe for disaster. So, when they reach back out to you and they're saying, oh, I'm interested, have a conversation with them before you get on a call, I would suggest. Before you get on a call with them, over email, over text, over LinkedIn direct message, however it is, start to figure out how you can help them. Do you want to help them? What kind of vibe are you getting from this person? Ask them questions about their business. And then eventually, once you've got a bit of a feel for this person, that's when you can start to get them on the phone. And then when you got them on the phone, then it's more about, again, going deeper, figuring out whether or not you actually want to help this person, whether or not you can actually help this person. Your service may not be the best solution for them. And then it's pointless selling them that solution, because they are not going to get any benefit from it. They are not going to be a happy customer. They're not going to give you referrals. You're not going to get a customer success story out of it. All these things that fall out at the back of having a client that can help you get more clients, you're not going to get them. So, yeah, it is worthwhile, very worthwhile, working out whether or not you want to help them and whether or not you can help them. Once you've figured that out, then, yeah, it's time to sell to them. There's all sorts of ways of doing this. Do you want to be put them on a mailing list and warm them over time? Or, if you've been conversing with them in email or direct mail, then, you may not need to warm them up. It may be just straight to the call. And at that point, again, you would need to be okay at sales. And the idea of sales, I think people misconstrue this. They think about these pushy car salesmen, where they're thinking about guys who browbeat them into buying whatever it is that they're selling. And that's a recipe for disaster. You're going to get buyer's remorse. The better method is to ask them questions, help them understand the world that they're in, help them understand the world that they're going to get to. And if you have a solution for them, ask permission and say, listen, I understand your world. Are you okay with me presenting a solution to you? Get their permission. Then once you've got their permission, then it's time for you to present your solution, right? Start talking to them about how your solution will help them. Don't tell them what the solution involves. People buy the benefits, buy the outcomes. They don't buy the features. So really, help them understand that your solution will help them. It will get them from point A to point B. And then once you've presented your solution, it's then at that point is time to be quiet and say, what do you want to do now? And just stop talking, because then it's up to them to say whether or not they're in or they're out. And again, it's not your job to be hitting them over the head and saying, buy this, buy this, buy this. You've got to let them make their own decision. How long does this step take? Well, it depends how quickly they are replying to you, and, you're going back and forth and you're figuring out whether or not you can help them. That can take a while. Business owners can be busy. They may not be able to reply to you immediately, etc., etc. Then, obviously, once you've decided that you do want to help them, that you potentially can help them, potentially want to help them, you can share your Calendly link and they can book an appointment. So, at their convenience. Is that anytime soon? Who knows? It depends on their diary too, right? So how long does this step take? It's difficult to say. But okay, so there's all sorts of ways that you can get unstuck with this problem. If you don't know how to sell, then there are various courses on LinkedIn or YouTube, various other places that can talk to you about how to do selling. But as a general rule of thumb, I would say that if you're talking more than the other person, something's wrong. If you're the one answering questions rather than asking questions, something's wrong. Yeah, you should be in control of the conversation. You should be asking the questions to understand their world, to help them understand their world.
Wow. I could go on for another good hour here wanting to learn this, because I'm finding this very useful. And I will be listening to this over and over and over again, because the information we are getting here, Bill, is one that is truly poised to change what is happening in our world in this area. But before we conclude here, are there any other juicy tips, tricks, and secrets at this point in this area that you hope and want everybody to know about? And again, go in as deep as you would want, because I'm finding the whole conversation, the way you are structuring it, very, very user-friendly and very easy to follow. And for that, I'm very grateful. So again, are there any juicy tips, tricks, and secrets at this point that you want our business owners to know?
Okay. So I don't know if it's a secret, but the most important thing that I would say to fellow business owners is start a mailing list. You have to have a mailing list. So you should be writing to your target audience, your mailing list subscribers, every day until one of three things happens. They buy, they die, or they unsubscribe. That is, that is my juicy tip and trick to share with you. You need to get people onto your mailing list, and then you need to sell to them repeatedly. People on your mailing list, generally speaking, these are going to be people who've put their hand up and said that they need your help. How have they done that? Usually they've downloaded some form of lead magnet, right? So if you've written a book and people buy your book, then they then go onto your mailing list. Alternatively, if you want to offer out a free lead magnet, then you've got what you should do is answer your target audience's most burning question. Whatever problem they're suffering with, give them the answer, right? That will make it very difficult for your target audience not to download your free guide, not to join your mailing list, but it will also help them to see that you are a problem solver, that you are someone that can be trusted to help them overcome their problems. And because of that, then they will be more inclined to want to work with you. So get a mailing list, get a lead magnet, talk about these things online, get people onto your mailing list. I was talking there just then about a book as well. If you can, write a book, write a signature offer that helps your target audience go from point A to point B, and then write about that in a book and, make that your biggest lead magnet. Then your job is to sell that book. Once you've got that book, you are selling that book. You can price it at $4.99, whatever, $4.97, whatever you want to price it as. But the idea is to get people to join your mailing list, and ideally, if they've bought the book, then they have then become a client, right, rather than a lead. And once someone decides to pay you for your help once, they are more inclined to do that again. So 100%, if you have a paid lead magnet, that is perfect. If not, get a free one, but become a problem solver for your audience. Tools for, so websites. You need a website. It's your portfolio. It advertises who you are, what you do, and who you do it for, why people should hire you. So websites are key. Depending on where your target audience is, you should have some sort of online presence. So whether that's LinkedIn or Instagram or X or Threads, whatever it is, that's where you should be. You should be building your audience there. And then for your email marketing, I use a WordPress website, and there's loads of free web email management software plugins that you can use. So that's not a problem. I use MailPoet, but there's loads out there. And, up until a certain amount of mailing list subscribers, they're free. If you're going to have a paid one, then there are loads of options out there for paid ones. ConvertKit is very good. So those would be the tools that I would suggest. Yes.
Beautifully said. You know what? When it comes to these things, I've discovered that mindset do play a major role in getting people over the mark. And in your opinion, as an expert and having helped hundreds of people, what is the perfect mindset, or what is the right mindset that we business owners need to have or should have in order to guarantee, to a certain degree, success for this? And maybe stated differently, what is the right mindset to help us thrive in this area?
Yeah, okay. So the right mindset would be to have an expert. You are an expert at what you do, okay? I know that people suffer from imposter syndrome, or they worry about other people calling them out because they don't know as much as someone else. There's always going to be people that know more than us, but then there are the vast majority of people out there know way less than we do, right? We are experts. You are an expert. Stand tall, stand proud, and, get paid like an expert, charge expert prices. Yeah, you're an expert. So lean into that. Accept that fact. In the land of the one-eyed man, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, right? So even if you don't think that you are an expert, compared to, say, for example, for me, I'm no Seth Godin, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm not an expert at marketing. So yeah, lean into your expertise, embrace it.
Awesome. This truly has been great. Is there anything I haven't asked you about getting started in this area that you wish, when you got started, that those who are ahead of you had shared with you?
Not particularly. To be honest with you, as I say, the biggest thing that I would say is get a mailing list. No matter where you are in your journey, no matter who you're serving, get a mailing list. It is the lifeblood of your business. If you're on social media and people may or may not see your posts, you may get kicked off that social media platform and you'll have to start all over again. Your mailing list is your bread and butter. It's what you should be using every day to contact your target audience, because these are people that have signed up and put their hand up and said they need your help. So yeah, and if you're about to tell me that people in your industry don't do that, I would say there's this story, about a father, a shoe salesman, and he sold all the shoes to all the people in his village. And he's got two sons, and he says, "Sons, one of you head east, one head west. I need you to go out and find new customers for us." So the two sons go out, right? And your one son, he goes west, comes back and he says, "Father, there's no hope. None of them wear any shoes." And then the other son goes east and he comes back and he says, "Father, it's amazing. None of them wear any shoes." My point is, just because no one else is doing it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. It's an opportunity. So if you're telling me that no one in your industry runs a mailing list, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be running one.
Outstanding. Truly outstanding. Thank you so much for a great conversation, great interview. This has been very insightful, very informative, and really quite engaging. And thank you. And I never want to finish a great conversation like this without giving you an opportunity to share with our audience how you can be in touch with them, or how they can be in touch with you. For I know for a fact that there are many people wants to carry on learning from you, or even get into partnership with you based on our conversation here today. So could you tell us a little bit about your website or your social media handles so that we can connect with you?
Okay, yeah, so my name is Nick Poninski, P for Papa, O, N for November, I, N for November, S-K-I. I'm all over LinkedIn, so feel free to connect with me there or follow me. And my website is theinfluentialconsultant.co.uk. What I would say is that the first step is, if you're struggling with your business, if you're struggling to attract the right client, if you're struggling to attract any clients, or if you're struggling to charge the right fees, then the first step for you would be to get a copy of my book. It's called Stop Struggling, Get the Client. And it will give you the easily plug-inable tips and strategies that anyone can use to get more leads, more clients, more sales, and more profits for their business. Check out the website, check out the book, and yeah, give me a follow on LinkedIn, give me a hello.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been quite informative conversation, quite engaging, inspiring, and all that is in between. So we are so grateful for our time that we've had together. Now, if you're not yet a member of our community, can I ask you to join that? Because we are going to carry on these conversations in there. So if you have a follow-up question, you may want to ask it in there. Our guests will be able to answer you there over the next few weeks, months, or even years to come. And you also have access to our great community who will be able to help you with the subject that we've been talking about today. So click the link below if you are not yet a member. If you are already a member, go back and reignite your passion, rather, and start the conversation again. Look, we created this to ensure that nobody is left behind. And I know when you are part of the community, you are not going to be left behind. So, well, thank you so much for great share, great information, and truly appreciate you very, very much for being so generous with your knowledge. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly truly yet to come. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to Yeukai Business Show. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode and have gained valuable insights and inspiration from our amazing guest. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review to help us spread the word. Also, be sure to check out our Leadership Ultimate Success Mastermind program, which is designed to help you and leaders in our community to do great things and support each other along their leadership journey. Until next time, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly yet to come.